Hello and welcome to Middle-Aged Geek Girl. I'm Sally, the Middle-Aged Geek Girl in question, and welcome to my new video. Normally I want MAG to be a fun space where I do silly reviews or craft projects, but today I am breaking away from that formula a little bit as I want to share a recent experience I had on social media via Facebook and Instagram. So before I continue, I should give a content warning. This experience does involve a recently murdered woman in Australia, as well as Me Too. So around October, November last year, I decided to get into a new hobby, which was Monster High doll repaints. You can see some of the ones I've done there in the background, and I will do a video at a later stage detailing them and my journey with that. So as I'm really new to the hobby, I thought the best way to learn some custom skills and to get really good dolls secondhand and quite cheap was to join some local Australian Facebook groups, which I did. And there's both genders on there, so didn't think anything of it. And a guy was advertising that he had some dolls for sale. He lived in driving distance from where I live, so I contacted him to see what dolls he had for sale. He was extremely helpful, extremely pleasant and excited to sell dolls. So I gave him a list of some dolls I was after. He responded saying he had heaps, like hundreds of dolls, and he had a number of the ones I was after, and I could come along and have a look at them. I, of course, wasn't going to do that. I'm not one to just turn up at a stranger's house, and I know that's how marketplace and things like that work, and I do have Terry, my husband, who would have come with me, but it's not for me. I'd rather have things posted to me. So I asked him for some photos of the dolls in question, and his attitude completely changed. He went from being extremely friendly and helpful to being quite cranky and grumpy at the thought that I could dare ask him to have to do photos of dolls I potentially wanted to buy from him. He was carrying on saying it was around 30 photos he'd have to take, and he just didn't have the time. So, my alarm bells went off and I went, forget it, don't worry about it. I was very polite. I just said, okay, thanks for your time. Let's leave it at that. So this was all just before Christmas. So nothing happened. It was quite quiet. And then in the new year, I started getting Facebook messages from this guy asking me when I was coming to look at the dolls. Then he would say, oh, help me, I've bought 200 more dolls. And then the next day it would be like, oh, when are you coming to help me sort my collection? And it just kept going on like that. So eventually, I admit I saw it a bit as a joke at first, because I thought, this guy's not quite all there. What the hell is he doing? And I showed Terry, and we just said the best way to deal with him was to block it and to contact the administrators of the groups I was in, just so if anyone else was having issues with him, they could do something, because I was convinced I wasn't the only one who was doing this too. So I must state I'm a little bit disappointed at how the administrators have handled this issue. Whilst I understand they can't just kick someone off a group from one complaint, because it can be a personality clash. To my knowledge, they've had at least two. I did post something on the groups to say if anyone has had any issues with members. I didn't use name or gender. I just said members. Please let the administrators know. I've had at least 7 contacts from other females on the group confirming basically who the guy was that they're having hassles with, and he's creepier with some of them than he was with me. Yet he's still on the group. Because they're not going to the administrators. I don't know why they're not going to the administrators, even though I've asked them to, and yet according to the administrators they haven't heard any more than the 2 complaints. One group, I must say, the administrator hasn't even contacted me back after my complaint, and I've provided evidence for all of this. So again, I'm not just talking out of my butt, so to speak. I have provided evidence for this. So as it stands at the moment, he's still in the groups, and I've blocked him so I can't see him, but I know my husband can see his profile. Even his Facebook profile is extremely dodgy. It's got 5 contacts on it and nothing but car posts. Anyway, so we left it at that. It was last week I posted on Instagram a photo of my latest doll creation, and a couple of days after posting I go in, you know, as you do with Instagram, just to see who's liked it, if we got any new followers. And there was a new follower, and it didn't dawn on me at first. It was a female follower. Their name was Sally _, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the surname was, but it was something like been a long time, but not quite in that wording. And you know, there are other people in the world besides me that has the name Sally, so I again didn't think anything of it. Thought, cool, new follower. So, you know, put it aside, continue doing what I was doing. Then I started scrolling through Facebook, like my friends' feeds on Facebook, and came across an article on the same day about the murdered Western Australian mother, who I won't name because I don't want to add more grief to her family on this. But the photo, it was in the ABC News, ABC News website. The photo the ABC had used to her photo to show who she was, it rang a bell, and I'm like, oh, this photo looks familiar. So I went back to Instagram, and lo and behold, it was the profile picture of my new Instagram follower. I naturally freaked out. I was like, well, what the fuck is this? So I ran out and showed Terry, and I was in a I'm not going to lie, I was in a distraught state because, as I've mentioned before, with my depression and anxiety, this just made me feel sick. And I'm saying to Terry, am I seeing this right? Is this the same photo? And he's like, yes. And so he took my phone off me and, you know, reported the profile to Instagram and blocked the profile on Instagram. The only regret I have is that I didn't do a screen capture before we did that, because, you know, if I had that, I could have gone to the police. We were just both freaked out that we just didn't think that through. So we went back a day later to the blocked accounts on my Instagram, and it's not there anymore. It's disappeared. So they've obviously realized I've caught on to what's going on, and deleted the profile. Now, I can't say it's the same guy as Facebook, but it's too much of a coincidence, so I am sort of assuming it's the same creeper that I was dealing with on Facebook. So this has really knocked me about, which is why I haven't done a fun video today. I didn't even want to do this video, I'll be honest. I've wanted to hide from everything social media related, because he got me good. I'm not going to hide that fact. He got me good. I was taken to the doctors to calm me down, to see what could be done. I've just been in a, not catatonic, it's not that dramatic, but I've just been in a slump for days. I haven't wanted to do any of my crafting, any of my gaming, writing a script. I mean, I had some cool ideas that I was going to do for my next video, but I feel like I do have to actually talk about this. I've got some resilience, and I've also got a terrific support from my friends, and especially Terry, so I've been able to bounce back. I'm still a bit shaky with it. I'm slowly getting back onto social media and doing this YouTube video, because it needs to be spoken about. It needs to be out there that, you know, women are still facing this sort of creeper, and nothing is being done about it, especially on Facebook. I was so annoyed, and I still am annoyed at the fact that he hasn't been kicked off. Um, I I guess the answer is I could always leave those groups, but then why should I keep running and hiding? I've blocked him so he can't see what I do on Facebook, and well, hopefully he doesn't have any other presence on Instagram that he will bug me with. Again, I'm assuming it's the same person because the coincidence of timing was too perfect, and it was just sick to do that. The purpose of me doing this video is basically to prove I have got the strength and I am bouncing back, and to also for other women to know you're not alone. This stuff is happening to everybody, and it's just sad, but you need to speak up. And I guess that's my main point. If you are being contacted inappropriately by a creeper, speak up. If it's on a Facebook group, tell the administrators. If it's on Instagram, report the profile. Don't just think, oh, if I just block him, that will be the end of it. It's not the end of it. They just find a softer target. You have got to stand up for each other. As women, we need to protect each other, and that's where my strong anger and annoyance at Facebook comes from on this one. I know I can sometimes try to be the savior of the world, and it doesn't work in my favor, but if something like this is happening to you, you must let the appropriate people know, because you might be strong, you might be able to laugh it off, but he will find a vulnerable person that will get into dangerous situation with him. So that's the message of this video. Hopefully next fortnight I'm back to my normal format. It sounds a bit corny, but I will end up with my usual please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you are facing a similar situation, please tell somebody. Please tell the authorities, please tell the Facebook administrators. Talk to somebody. Don't just ignore it. Please be safe, and thank you for listening. And remember, be resilient, be strong, girl power.